But do you need a mentor? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. My microphone just fell. I was having a discussion with my friend about mentors and she was mentioning how she had never had a mentor before, that she never really had anyone to help her through the process of owning a business, of running a business. And it was interesting to me because it was the type of business she's in. It would have been helpful. She had to really go through the school of hard knocks all across the way. And it was interesting to me, and it kind of brought to mind how much mentorship has been such a big difference in my life, and the ins and outs, the goods and bads of it, because there's some pitfalls that come with having a mentor. There really are. But first, I want to talk about the type of people that probably shouldn't have a mentor, or at least initially. And there's a lot of people who are very individualistic. They think they know what they need to do, and they got to get out there and they got to get knocked around some. And you know, if you're that type of person, I was that type of person, where I thought I had it all. I thought I had it all figured out, and I don't need help from anybody, and I could usually pick out flaws pretty darn quick, to where I couldn't trust somebody after a very short period of time. And so for me to be able to have a mentor, I needed to be taken down a peg or two. And so I had to learn the hard way. I had to really get bruised up and work things out really. And that's a common trait. It's a common trait of entrepreneurs, of business owners, is really having that go get 'em attitude and not thinking that they need to learn from anybody. Now, it helps if you have mentors from afar. You know, the books you read, the audios and videos you watch and listen to, podcasts. Nowadays, there's so much free information out there that if you find somebody who you think you can trust and they've got information just come oozing out from all corners, you can get quite a lot of good background off of that. And in a sense, you're getting some form of mentorship. For sure. Even if you're not working one-on-one with that person, you're not getting the back and forth, you're getting value. And sometimes that's what a lot of people need, especially early on. They just need to be able to do that and knock their head against the wall enough times. But having a good mentor that you trust can be a shortcut. It's a shortcut to success. It's a shortcut to getting around a lot of issues that come along with any style business or any type of. If you're here and you want to go here and you want to move up the chain in some way, it doesn't necessarily always have to do with business. It's anything. Having somebody that's already there, that helps, right? That helps because they can show you pitfalls that the only way you would know them is by going through them. The only way. Other than if they also had someone that pointed out the pitfalls ahead of time. Having someone like that's the cliche has been through, walked through the minefield, right? They've walked through the minefield. They know where the exploding mines are at, and then you can walk in their footsteps and stay away from the places where it's sudden death. There's no way around it, right? So that is extremely useful, but it takes a couple things. Two major extremes that it's going to take. First extreme is the obvious one. It takes humbling. It takes you being willing to back off and realize you don't know everything and be willing to trust somebody else. That's the one extreme that it takes. And I think that comes with the territory. Most people get that to an extent. If you're seeking out a mentor, if you found someone that is offering to be a mentor, that makes sense. The other extreme, though, is one that most people don't wrap their minds around right away, which is you have to be really forgiving and willing to let that person be wrong. Because you're dealing with a human, okay? And human beings are going to be wrong on something. They're going to think that something is absolutely true because it was true for them in a certain time in a certain place, where it may not be true for you by the time you go through the same thing. And they got confused between a principle and just some tactic of the time. You have to deal with all the foibles that people carry along with them. And if you can't be forgiving of that, if you can't be able to stand back and just see that this is just a human, I'm going to take what I can from them and I'm going to leave the rest. And if I have to make mistakes because I didn't take the right advice, that's fine, but at least I'll recognize it when I get there. Having that person say something ahead of time, even if I don't take the advice, I'll recognize it once I get there. And that takes the ability to sit back and realize that your most important role moving forward in your life is identifying what's true and untrue in the moment, what you're going to use and not use. That's the main thing you need, because then a mentor just becomes one more resource on top of the books and anything else that you have. It's one more resource on top of your intuition at the time. This is just one more piece of the pie. They're one more huge piece. They're major. There's an emotional, motivational thing that comes from having somebody that you trust that is there giving you tips and helping you through the process. That's something you can't replicate that with a book. That type of friendship or camaraderie that you get from a mentor, it's the magic, the human magic that can't be replaced. You have to be willing. You have to make yourself small and allow yourself to be a little bit human yourself, and allow yourself to make mistakes in order to have a really good mentor. And if that trust isn't there, you can't make it. You can't create it out of nothing. You can't trust somebody that you don't trust. It's either there or you don't. If they've already lost your trust, and trust it should never be an absolute thing that they do one thing wrong and it throws it all off. But that trust has to be there to some extent, in terms of you have to trust them in some area of their life. In that area that you're looking mentorship in, you got to have a trust there, and you have to at least enjoy being around this person, listening to this person, talking to this person. It's just not going to happen without that. So hopefully that makes sense. It's all about mentorship. It's not for everybody. You don't necessarily need to go out there and be a mentor, but you can, and I think you should on a lot of levels. There's so much that can be gained from the teaching aspect. It's also the teacher-student idea, the mentor-apprentice idea. These are all the same thing. It's a big part of humanity, is passing along what you've learned, what you've garnered through the years. Even if you've been a complete failure, your ability to be able to step back and see that you've been a failure and why you've been a failure, you pass that along, that's valuable to people. Whether you make money off of it or not, but that mentorship is a powerful thing. It's not something to take lightly, and it's something you should seek out. If you seek it out, I think you'll find it. That's all I got for today. Go check out my training all on whether content marketing is right for you, because this is, in a sense, electronic mentorship. If it's not electronic, it's analog, through books and magazines and newsletters. Go check out this training. This will let you know whether it's right for you or not. ContentMarketingQuestion.com. ContentMarketingQuestion.com. That's all I got for tonight. See you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.